Hi, I'm Janice Florent, Technology Coordinator in the Center for the Advancement of Teaching and Faculty Development. I've created this video to explain how we set up the interactive rubric that Sister Juliana uses to grade the concert reports in her music appreciation class. We started with Sister Juliana's concert report assignment instructions. Sister Juliana provides the assignment and grading instructions in this two-page Word document format. We need to put this information into rubric format. This has to be converted into the levels and criteria the students will be graded on. We need to create a weighted rubric because some criteria are weighted more than others. After a few conversations with Sister Juliana, this is the rubric we developed for grading the concert reports. Notice content/information is the most important criterion, and it is worth 60% of the total points. Timeliness is weighted the least and is worth only 10% of the total points. Our next step is to create the rubric in Brightspace. To create a rubric, we would click on Course Admin in the nav bar and then click on Rubrics. To create a new rubric, you would click the New Rubric button. And for your rubric, you would be giving it a name. You'd indicate the type of rubric, the points, and in this case, it's going to be custom points. And then you would enter your levels as well as your criteria. And for each level and criteria, you would enter the number of points for each. You would also indicate an overall score, and then there's a place to select additional options. So what I would like to do, I have a rubric that I've already started, and I would like to show you how we set that up. This is our concert report rubric. Notice the type is analytic and the scoring is custom points. And then these are our levels. So we have 3 levels: meets expectations, needs improvements, as well as inadequate. We have 4 criteria: timeliness, grammar, mechanics, and structure, ticket/program, as well as content/information. And so for each of our levels and criterias, we indicate the number of points. And so for timeliness, the maximum number of points the students can receive for this would be 2 points, with needs improvements being 1 point and inadequate being 0. So the maximum number of points they can receive for this criterion is 2. And then in each of these cells, there's an explanation of exactly what timeliness and meeting expectations is, for example. And so you would repeat that process for all of the other criteria and the various levels. But notice with Brightspace, you do get the opportunity to enter some initial feedback. So as you are grading the concert reports with the rubric, if you were to select meets expectations for the timeliness, this initial feedback would be provided for the student. Likewise, if you selected needs improvement, then this initial feedback would be provided with for the student. When you've entered all your levels and criterias and your initial feedback, then you can enter your overall score. So for meets expectations in this example, if the student received 18 or more total points, then they would have met expectations for this particular assignment. Anywhere between 11 and 17 points would be the needs improvement, and then they would receive inadequate if they're between 0 and 10 points. From here in your options, we do want the rubric to be visible to students, and the other options there are fine. And the last thing we need to make sure is that this rubric is published. So we can change the status from draft to published. Everything you enter in the rubric is automatically saved, and at this point we can close. Now that we've set up our gradebook and created our rubric, we can proceed to creating our content report assignment submission folders.